This next one's called number 5 and it goes out to Caleb Coleman.
Woo! 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 That's it, right? Carson. Yeah. 2011. Live sales.
No purpose to pose for action, a lonely fight. And you don't see emotions, only snaps from strobe light. They're chopped images. How can you live with this? You're despised for what you don't know. You're iconicalistic. You put forth no effort. But the hands of hope are reaching out to catch a single feather, to cage a single dove, to tell the lion that his heart just isn't good enough. And the rocks in my mind that I left, these are memories I can't resurrect. You fight this fight that can't be fought with signs and nails that you've invented. And you raise them with fists. How is this better than violence? Defeat is a part of life, but pride is a deadly sin. And in life, you have to sift through the sand to find the gold. But all you have is rocks and you're getting pretty old. This pan and a man searching for a quick solution. But you can't cash out on depression. And you find nothing through obsession. So when you least want it, it will come, but the sky just keeps you guessing. I've sent you signs and I've beamed you light. Either it hasn't hit you or you didn't try to catch my drift as I swift through broken rock and ocean mist. I'm in the midst of making men. Grounded stars without a friend. Grounded stars, where did you lend me a few? I need something new. I built this house with a hand or two, but it's transformed like you into this cage. For the bird of my subconscious flying onto each page. But it's all just spilled ink of what I used to think, deceiving us to sink I never fixed. As it leaks, it drowns us both in everything that we didn't accomplish and that I didn't fulfill. And I ran so fast that the world felt still, but it wasn't fast enough, and I told you that. And this is true art, but it's not art of fact. Is this heartburn or is it heart attack? Because all I know is that I lack. So you can call me lover, call me friend, or you can just call me a fucking drag. You can check out most of these poems in more of a poetry reading form on trailerlulu.bandcamp.com. Those also are available in book form if you're a reader. You can come by over there. I have a suitcase full of books, and we have I think about 12 left. And they come in like a package. I have 2 smaller books, and I sell them together for about $4. So if you're a reader, come by and pick it up. That'd be really cool. These next 3 poems are the ones that I've been working on recently. And it's this concept album that this really short concept album that I've been writing called Dark Arts. And it's really emphasizing on the fact that on false prophets, specifically Harold Camping, and how, and minds, and anybody else who's telling us and who's telling me that we're all going to die on the same day, like in 2012 or in next October, you know, I'm really anticipating us all dying at the same time. And when people tell me that, you know, other people are telling me to plan for this future, to set these goals and to make this life plan, map it all out, and live by that, and, you know, truly strive for what's important, you know. And how am I supposed to plan for a future that I don't know is supposed to be there? And that's completely demotivating. It's me, and that's what this whole, all these 7 poems are about. And I'm going to do about 4 of them. It's from Dark Arts. It's going to drop in a few weeks. Today is the end of the world, I promise. On this day and time, I predict you we die, all of us. Fire will flood the streets and water will burn everything that you've looked up to. All that we've anticipated is taken by this man with a book of interpretations. So I guess I've been slaving over a hot stove for a meal I never get to eat. Putting in the hours for this future I don't get to see. And you insisted that this was important, that it all paid off the men. And all these feelings that I hoarded when I didn't have a friend, wasted is what I am, says the pig from the stand. No higher than bar stools with numerals to decide when I end. And in case it isn't obvious, I don't really believe this, but if it's not now, it's then, and all these days are getting strenuous. Like for the things I plan for next week and how I don't know if they'll be there. Keeps the country in a high hold and keeps the public scared. Because we all feel what we're unsure of, and we're unsure of this. But if this guy's for real or if he's just full of shit, I guess we'll find out. Sorry, I didn't. I've grown sick and dreary of the same spinning ceiling while I lie on the floor and the thoughts are so eerie that they turn graves like you turn pages of my writing. This constant fighting with the ground yelling, please subside me, because I can't defy gravity more than I can with death. And to come close, I hold my breath, just long enough to convince the bird in my head that I'm almost dead. And at the last second, I suck in oxygen so deep that I choke. Like my lungs are broke, I'm coughing out black chunks, but I've never smoked. And it's not because of the taste, but for the long-term effects. And that avoidance for health risks seems so pointless now. Now that we're going to be swallowed into the ground or sucked into the sky and then thrown out of this loud tornado to end this tragic book that we've been adding to. And your attitude couldn't be more bitter. But maybe you should down it like a pill to block out sadness before dinner, because we won't make it to the meal anyway. Because we only eat when he goes away, and he's been gone for quite a while now, and he's coming back to capture anyone who believes that this is the rapture. So tomorrow you'll either go away or I'll be stuck in laughter saying, I knew it wouldn't happen, but honestly, I wasn't sure. When I wrote this, I wish I could say I was in a dark place. But what evokes within the side of me is something I can't say. The dismay I felt when I was told that July was going to be cold and that I might die when I was this old. As a teenager, and they didn't say a thing when we graduate. Or these long-term goals were something to celebrate. And with the hate that was inflicted, how mapping was insisted, you twisted my wrist and force-fed me these missions. To fall for something with false pride and honor, but the 7-day forecast says that we're all goners, so why try? Is where my mind's stuck between harvesting every minute or not giving a fuck. And as I flip through the pages of every single book to try to count for all the motivation that you took from me and anyone else who hears this coward in the box announcing the end is near. And when you speak, I try not to let it soak through my skin and tar. But there's breaks in the pavement and they cut pretty hard. And to my bad tendencies that feed me tarot cards like literature to lure me into the dark arts. And it's working. Three of Swords, yeah. That poem's in the zine that Solitude zine in issue 2. Ow! Yeah, give it up for Solitude zine. What the fuck? I was really pleased to get a chance to put it in there. Also, there's another poem from a non-verbal book I'm writing. From a non-verbal book I'm writing called I Am Mountain. And then another old one from Drag, which is one of the collections of poems back there that's for sale. And along with an article about my future goals and what I'm currently doing. This last poem is called Burn My Legs. And I'll be recording all these next week. So stay tuned, trey.bandcamp.com. Thank you for listening. I've been mapping out a life plan for a span I assumed I'd be in. Marriage with a steady home and maybe some kids. It isn't what I was thinking, but it was an option. Frivolous was the plan for now, but then you stopped it, you robbed it. You took all I ever wanted. I built this house and you tore it down. A swine with word-shifting crowds, moving clouds with your statistics. But I have my doubts about how real this shit is. And maybe this one's different and maybe they're right. And when that day comes, I'll look up in the sky with anticipation, expecting the definition of obscure. And I'm amazed how crowds form when death occurs. It's so anticlimactic, so my back's to this tragic future I always wanted, but I'll never have it. My map is only a fire starter when the electricity finally goes missing. And my legs are oak logs, so all we need is some kindling to stay warm around this fire before we pass through it. And pay these dues for this life that we've been abusing. We had a chance to make the change, do something, but the tornado underneath my feet says we had it coming. And I agree. Thank you very much.
Hey, next band is